I've been in this airport since 11 a.m. and this is after 7. They don't want us to go. I'm with my baby. I don't know what is happening. These people don't want us to go.
This man over here, he is a Nigerian billionaire. He spoke at an event in Rwanda just recently and said he was traveling to Cape Town. They denied him entry because his visa had expired.
The chief executive officer of Boa Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu, says that South Africa denied him visa, in fact, denied him entry into South Africa because his visa was expired. Why would you enter someone's country with expired visa now? Sir? 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 Let us fix our own country, Nigeria. Let us make our own country conducive for us all now.
Guys, I'm at the airport, United Nigeria. I've been standing here. I've been in this airport since 11 a.m. and this is after 7. They don't want us to go. I'm with my baby. I don't know what is happening. These people don't want us to go. This is my baby. We are still stuck here in this airport. They want us to sleep in this airport. I have baby. I don't know what these people are trying to do. I don't know. This place has been chaotic since around 12. People have been fighting in this airport. I don't know what is happening. I don't know if they want us to sleep in this airport. I cannot afford to sleep here. I have a newborn. I don't know what is happening. I'm tired. I've gone there to ask multiple questions. There is no form of communication. There is no form of empathy. I don't know what is happening with United Nigeria in Lagos Airport. I don't know what is happening anymore.
I'm sure you're all noticing this narrative that's taking shape online, painting us, South Africans, as the villains of the continent. This man over here, he is a Nigerian billionaire. He spoke at an event in Rwanda just recently and said he was traveling to Cape Town last year and they denied him entry because his visa had expired, okay? But he says, to his surprise, he noticed Europeans were allowed entry into the country without visas. Of course, we know that. Citizens of EU member states get up to 90 days visa-free entry into South Africa. We know that, whether it's for business or tourism. In response to that story, this man over here, and this man is not just anybody, he is in public office, he's a senator. He twists the story. He basically says the billionaire was denied visa entry and says that all the xenophobia has escalated from the streets all the way to government. Now, we can have another conversation about illegal immigration in this country. We can. But when you start to lie about what's actually happening and contributing to the narrative, yeah, that's what I'm going to take issue with. And I know there's Home Affairs corruption. We can talk about that all day. But this senator should be asking a very important question. How was this billionaire able to board a flight with an expired visa? And yes, before somebody points it out on TikTok, because some of you are rude, I do need a haircut and charge my phone. Yeah. Happy Saturday once again.
See a shame they catch me for here. The chief executive officer of Boa Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu, says that South Africa denied him visa, in fact, denied him entry into South Africa because his visa was expired. Yes, can you believe that? Now, the news says that the businessman described the experience as unfair and discriminatory. Yes. But I don't know. Why would you enter someone's country with expired visa now? Sir? 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 Well, to me, I feel this is a wake-up call. Let us fix our own country, Nigeria. Let us make our own country conducive for us all now. Yes. South Africans say they don't want Nigerians again. They don't want us again in their country. Yes. Honestly, this is unfair. It's very, very unfair, but it is what it is. We have to move on. Let us make our own country better. But then again, South Africans living in Nigeria, how far? South Africans living in Nigeria, how far?
Someone commented on my post saying he supports a borderless Africa just because of the billionaire that was, denied entry into South Africa due to expired visa. So he said he supports a borderless Africa. Now, what does borderless Africa means for Africa? Is it a good idea? I want us to discuss this topic. I want you to tell me what you feel about this. Let's talk about this as African. With me, I do not support a borderless Africa. I support one Africa. I support a free trade Africa. no goods from one African country to the other should be subjected to custom regulations. That free trade Africa, I support it. But borderless Africa is going to be a disaster to every African countries that are developed, because we have 95% of African countries that are underdeveloped, that are poor. So now adopting a borderless Africa will mean that those African countries that are developed will be adopting the poverty of the other African countries that are underdeveloped. That is the truth. Now, we cannot use Europe to compare Africa. In terms of development, self-sufficient, countries that are thriving economically, good infrastructure, almost all the countries in Europe, they are self-sufficient. They are doing good. The citizens, they don't have that jackpot mentality, that survivor mentality of running away from their country. They don't have it because the countries are doing well. The systems is working. In the Europe, and in Nigeria, there's something that, they used to say in Nigeria, the rich, is a friend to the rich, and the poor is always a friend to the poor. Why are the rich friends to each other? It's because they do not have to depend on each other financially. They do not have to become a burden on each other. So European countries are not burdened to each other because every of these countries are developed, are doing well. There's less corruption. So hence, that borderless, European country is working for them. You don't see anyone from Germany going to Switzerland to go and commit crime, to go and steal, to go and, what Africans are doing. But in Africa, it is a different thing entirely. When you allow a borderless Africa, it means that you are adopting the poverty of all other African countries that are underdeveloped. Because now the people from these undeveloped countries will begin to troop to the developed African countries. They will begin to run away from their countries. They will begin to run away from poverty. That is the truth. In Africa, people run away from poverty, while in Europe, people don't run away, but they just, they travel for leisure. They travel or they go and do some kind of work and come back to their country. That is the truth. The other time, the EFF was calling for a kind of all undocumented migrants to be documented in South Africa, and the Minister of Home Affairs declined to that. And I do understand the reason why he declined to that. When you say you are going to document them, all other undocumented migrants from all other poor African countries, they will start trooping into this country, South Africa, because the country now is documenting, migrants that are undocumented. So undocumented migrants from other places, they'll start trooping in to South Africa to come and be documented. And that is going to kill this country. Even in the Europe, they have got migrant crisis. And who are the cause of this migrant crisis? African countries are the cause of the migrant crisis in that place. We Africans, we are the problems everywhere because of their porous border. Because now they have this policy of allowing, people to come into their country to, seek for asylum and all that. They took advantage of it. People go on sea, they go on road, and all kinds of traveling mode to get to Europe. They messed Europe up, and now Europe now is having all kinds of problems in migrant crisis, terrorist attacks, and all kinds of things because of their porous border. The same thing in Nigeria. They are facing terrorism, kidnapping, all kinds of things because of the porous border. And that is what borderless Africa is doing to every African country that is thriving. Terrorism, criminality, migrant crisis, poverty. So I believe that we Africans, let's go and work on our nations, build our nations, and get that poverty mentality out of our mind before we can think of a borderless Africa. But when you talk about free trade zone, from between one African country to another African country without your goods being subject to any custom regulations, yes, I believe in that. I believe in a one Africa. I believe in a free zone, in a free trade zone Africa. But a borderless Africa will be a disaster to Africa. We are not ready for it.